I don't know if y'all are ready for this one. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into part 2 of my vinyl collection. If you haven't seen the first one, make sure to go check that out. It'll be in the first link in the description. I had so much fun showing you guys a bunch of hip hop that's in my collection, and I still have a ton more hip hop to show you. But today we're gonna be switching gears a little bit. We're gonna take a little dive into some new metal, some grunge, some classic rock, heavy metal. We got a nice little mixed batch for you guys. And I'm also gonna be showing you my #1 favorite album in my collection, so make sure to stick around for that. Let's waste no more time. My vinyl collection, episode 2, let's fucking go. So I feel like the only way to start this video here is with Rage Against the Machine, self-titled album, classic. Next we have Rage Against the Machine, Renegades. For some weird, stupid reason, these are the only 2 Rage Against the Machine albums I have. Slack and hard. I gotta get my shit together. Pantera, Cowboys from Hell. Nothing like some young, hungry, heavy Pantera. Pantera, The Great Southern Trendkill. This is probably my favorite Pantera album. Next we have Far Beyond Driven, classic Pantera, cannot go wrong. But then again, you can't really go wrong with any Pantera album. Of course, we probably wouldn't have Pantera if it wasn't for Metallica. You guys already know, I don't have to say the title. Classic album, epic, timeless, nothing else needs to be said. Next we have Load. I was born in 91. This came out in 96. This was sort of the first type of Metallica that I heard. I know this era of Metallica is not everyone's favorite, but it's how I was introduced to the band. These albums have a special place in my heart. Of course, you can't have Load and not have Reload. The hits on this are huge, and like I said, this is the Metallica I was introduced to. This is the Metallica that I know and love. Next, this is actually an album that my wife picked out. This is Hardwired to Self-Destruct. All these new Metallica albums to me are great. The production value is so immense. It's so grand. They just put so much work into their albums and their shows. I've seen Metallica 1 time. My wife's seen Metallica probably over like 25 times. It is absolutely no mistake they've been around for as long as they have. They are amazing. And to finish off the Metallica collection, we have 72 Seasons. Like I said, all these new albums are great. Don't write them off. They're amazing. Go check them out if you have. Ooh, this next one here, this is one of my favorites ever. Godsmack, self-titled album. I think this is technically an original pressing, even though it just came out this year, but I don't think they ever pressed this on vinyl before. When I found out this was coming out, I couldn't jump to get it quicker. This is my teenage years right here. It doesn't get any better than this. Deftones, Around the Fur. Deftones, Saturday Night Wrist. We have my wife's favorite, Marilyn Manson, The Pale Emperor. This is a really good album. I think even if you don't like Marilyn Manson, you can find enjoyment out of this album. Marilyn Manson, We Are Chaos. I'm not even the biggest Marilyn Manson fan necessarily, but he makes good music. He is the definition of an entertainer. I've been handed down hundreds of classic rock records, but the point of these videos are to just show you what I personally bought. So we're gonna run through just a handful here. I got Led Zeppelin 1. I believe that this is my favorite Led Zeppelin album. It's so hard to pick from all of them, but I always lead back to this one. Next up, Led Zeppelin 2, probably their greatest album, and like 10 to 20% of the time this ends up being my favorite. Next up, you guessed it, Led Zeppelin 3. I love the change of energy that they brought on this album. Definitely not what the world was expecting at the time. This just elevated them to a whole nother level. Next, Led Zeppelin 4. I don't know if that's the official title, but I think everyone just knows it as Led Zeppelin 4. Huge hits on this. This album is definitely responsible of making them, if not the biggest band of all time, certainly top 5. Next up, Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. Great album. Always go back to this one. Love every single song on this. And to complete my Led Zeppelin collection, we have Physical Graffiti. Kashmir was the very first Led Zeppelin song I ever heard. I believe it was on a Greatest Hits CD. Owning this album is definitely very sentimental to me. Led Zeppelin is one of my favorite bands of all time. Kashmir being the first song I ever heard. It's like everything comes full circle. All right, this stuff coming up here is the real deal. Tool, Opiate. Tool, Undertow. Classic. Maynard James Keenan is just a musical genius to me. Such a smart guy. Love everything he's a part of. Woo. All right, if you're a Tool fan, you know what's next. This is Tool, Anima. This is an official pressing from 1996. This is the Grail if you're a Tool fan. Not only do I own one of these, but I am fortunate to own 2 of them. This copy is actually pretty cool. It has a notch in the bottom of the cover. That's just something that record stores used to use to indicate oversupply back in the day. So the fact that this was sitting on the shelves and not sold to anyone is mind-blowing. And to complete my Tool collection, we have Tool Lateralis. I absolutely love the cover of this. This was the first Tool record I owned. It has a really cool picture disc, by the way, too. So like I said, anything that Maynard James Keenan does, I absolutely love. So here is A Perfect Circle, Mer de Nams, if I'm pronouncing that right. This sounds beautiful on vinyl. Next we have A Perfect Circle, 13th Step. In my opinion, this could probably be top 2 or 3 albums that Maynard James Keenan is a part of. So deep, so clean, so eerie sounding. Love it every time. Next we have 9 Inch Nails, Pretty Hate Machine. 9 Inch Nails, Downward Spiral. So good. Little change of pace here, but let's go. Limp Bizkit, Significant Other. We grew up on this. This was 1999. I was just 8 years old, running around listening to Limp Bizkit. Doesn't get any better than that. Making a quick pit stop in the land of heavy metal, we have August Burns Red, Found in Faraway Places. This band means so much to me. I have been fortunate enough to become friends with a few of the band members. Not only are they just so good at making music, but they're just quality people. I could never thank them enough for everything that they've done to inspire my musical taste. And just to know that they're just a great group of guys is so cool. Love this album. August Burns Red, Rescue and Restore. So heavy, so good. And this is August Burns Red newest album, Death Below. Go check it out. If you guys don't listen to August Burns Red, or if you do listen to them and you haven't seen them live, do all of it. Awesome band. We're gonna start getting into a little grunge here. I've always been a huge grunge fan. I don't own nearly as many grunge records as I should, but there's a couple gems in here. First, we're gonna start with Nirvana, Nevermind. Everyone owns this album, as they should. I never claimed to be the biggest Nirvana fan. However, I do appreciate what they've done for music. I think Kurt Cobain is one of those guys that forever changed the landscape of music. His influence on modern artists cannot be understated. Another one of my favorite bands ever, Stone Temple Pilots. Every single note of Plush has been burned into my brain since I was probably 13 years old. This is the definition of the 90s right here. I have no idea how this is the only Soundgarden album I own, but this is super unknown. Chris Cornell is a rock genius, amazing voice. Gone way too soon. If you guys know me at all, you know I am a huge Lane Staley fan. Here we have Mad Season Above. If you guys are a fan of Alice in Chains, this is obviously basically parallel to that. Such a quality vinyl pressing of this. Go check it out if you've never heard it. Up next we have Alice in Chains Dirt. This is a perfect album. Alice in Chains Facelift. Man in the Box is the first Alice in Chains song I ever heard. I have been addicted to this band since. As I've reached my 30s, Alice in Chains has pretty much become my favorite band ever at this point. Alright guys, to finish off this video, not only is this my favorite record in my collection, but possibly my favorite album of all time, we have Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies, with Sap on the other side. This is technically an EP, but I'm just gonna call it an album. This album has stuck with me through every phase of my life. This has impacted me to a level that I cannot explain. I can go back to this album no matter what mood I'm in. Happy, sad, depressed, anxious. This is the one I can go to. I am so happy to have this in my collection, and I am so happy to be a fan of Alice in Chains. They remind me every day of how much I actually love music, and they're a huge reason why I collect vinyl. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please comment down below what your favorite album was. Do I have any records that you guys want? Let me know. This continues to be so much fun for me. I hope you enjoyed episode 2. I will see you guys in episode 3. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. What else? I think that's it for now. I'll see you guys later. Peace.